Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
We will get to China and the president's trip in just a few minutes. But first, more very disturbing news out of New York City as it relates to the mayor's wife.
Breaking news.
Folks, I don't know what to say at this point. There used to be rules in this game in terms of the wives were off limits, but we cannot ignore the anti-Semitism from the mayor of New York City, his wife. Now, there are several published reports as of this hour that the First Lady of New York City has a Spotify playlist, and it's bad news as it includes anti-Israel songs. Now, after City Hall was asked about this earlier this week, the Spotify playlist was moved to private, apparently. But even in her music, this lady is anti-Semitic. 800-848-9222. So her anti-Israel Spotify playlist. Now, remember, folks, if you're not from New York, then you may be hearing this for the first time. But this lady has a history of anti-Semitic social media. And Mamdani, the first Muslim American mayor of New York City, kept his wife away from the campaign the entire time. And now we know why. It's wicked what this man did. He knew that his wife was anti-Semitic, and that I kept saying to you folks, there's a reason why this man is hiding his wife. There's a reason. And now that it's being exposed, what she's doing, the mayor has said she's a private citizen and leave her alone. Right? A private person, leave her alone. I'm sorry, Mamdani, that doesn't pass the smell test anymore. So, oh boy. She has songs that, again, according to several published reports, in her Spotify playlist. And really, folks, that gives us a snapshot into each of our personalities, right? And she has songs that has foul-mouthed, anti-Israel lyrics. One bizarrely titled "Hungry but Sexy for Palestine." It includes a song which translates to "I hate Israel." Now, the main publication on this is the Free Press, which has been out front on reporting on the First Lady. There is a second playlist that is about the March on Washington for Gaza, which was January 13th, 2024, and it includes a song titled "Free Palestine." The song repeats lines. I can't even say them over the air, but F Israel, Israel's a B, and there are other incendiary lines against the Jewish state. Now, this again has been reported on by the Free Press, the New York Post, and more publications are picking this up. Something has to give with this First Lady. She cannot continue to live in a mansion paid for by taxpayers with a police detail paid for by taxpayers protecting her and her husband. And it bears the question, Mr. Mayor, do you share the same views as your wife? 800-848-9222. So she was caught liking celebratory Instagram posts in the aftermath of the Hamas sneak attack on Israel, and a post claiming the rapes carried out by the terror group against Israeli hostages and victims were a mass hoax. I have to tell you, folks, and I haven't even mentioned this on the radio because it's too graphic. The last 2 days, I have been reading a report on terms of sexually what was done to Israeli women and men as well, sexually. October 7th. Gang rapes of women. That the louder they screamed, the more the men that reportedly did this enjoyed it. Multiple men having sex with women, then shooting them in their private area. Shooting them in their heads and then still having sex with them. Having sex with them and chopping off their arms. And let's not forget, and limbs. I know you remember, I'll never forget it, that photo where they were driving through and that pickup truck and they had the Israeli woman in the back and her body was dismembered in an unnatural way. And all she had on was a brassiere and a bra, and her body was twisted in an unnatural way. And all they ultimately found from her was her skull. And the First Lady of New York City, this is utterly disgusting. So I'll get to China in just 1 second. But folks, I really am trying to figure out what's going on in the world. I don't get it. Maybe my time has passed me, right? So I'm going from the First Lady and her anti-Semitism. We'll start with Mike in New Jersey in just a second. To California. Fresno County, California. I support my friends in the gay community, but too much is too much. Too much is too much. Just this week, you had a drag queen testify. The gay community wanted libraries to be held as safe spaces for queer youth. And one of the drag queens, I don't even know if that's the proper term, that stood up to testify looked like Bozo the Clown on steroids. It was really nuts. And this is what she, he, it, I don't know. I don't know what the pronoun is. We're in a world, think about this. You go to LinkedIn, you go to these websites. What is your pronoun? It's what God gave you, he or she. All of this it, they, cat, bird. Have we gone absolutely batty? 800-848-9222. This is the drag queen in California. Says that libraries should be safe spaces for queer youth. Thank God it was voted down, but even that was close. It was a 3-2 vote. This is what she said, her statement to the board.
Hello. Hi. I'm Morgana. I am a drag queen. I am an activist. I am a substitute teacher. I am part of County District Number 1, and I am here to advocate that libraries are safe spaces. Our part of our queer youth are 30 to 40% in the Central Valley. They need this month, Mental Health Awareness Month is very important. So I'm really glad that we talked about this today because mental health issues are extremely important for our LGBTQ community. And that's why libraries are safe spaces. They are more than just to go for books. They are for warmth. They are for our unhoused youth. They are for all people. So please remember, keep libraries safe. If Fresno City College can fly a pride flag, if Fresno State can fly a pride flag, why can we not at the library? Thank you.
So what's disturbing about this? Again, she, he, it, they, cat, bird, lion, tiger. She was dressed like Bozo the Clown on steroids times 10. This extremely colorful dress, makeup that looked like she was mentally ill. And this is the way she went before the board to testify of what she just said. And the vote barely went the way that I feel it should have went. It was 3-2 to say that they voted this down. You know what, folks? I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because the mayor of New York City, right? Let's say, for argument's sake, let's say his wife was a racist. Well, she is a racist, Dominic. Okay, all right. So let's say another mayor's wife was a racist, right? And let's say that the mayor's wife, for argument's sake, hated black people, and was quoted or it came back to her as in this, in that, in this, in that, slave this, slave that. How long you think that mayor would be able to remain in office? Not long. They'd find a way to get rid of that mayor. Why is Mamdani in New York City as the socialist allowed to remain in office when he won't do anything to rein in his wife? And his wife, I'm sorry, folks. The wives are off limits. Something's wrong with this lady. All you have to do is look at her, and you can tell something is wrong with her. Oh, she's an artist. That's the way artists look, Dominic. No, they don't. No, they don't. Let's stop with the nonsense. 800-848-9222. Let's start with line 1, Danny in Suffolk County. Danny, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Thank you for answering my call. I'm a retired detective from the New York City Police Department. And I heard a comment that Mamdani made regarding that it's his job to ensure the safety of the city. But yet, I also read a report that he wants to disband the Counterterrorism Bureau.
Okay, what's the point you're trying to make, Danny? Let's get to the point.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you heard anything about that.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about right now. That's old news. That's old news. He wants to disband the unit that, and thank you for the call. He wants to disband the unit. It's called the SRT, something like that. They respond to protests and so on, but they also handle many of the anti-terrorism calls. And he wants to do away with that unit. And so that's the current mayor that we have. But again, and there's so much to get to this hour. I haven't even mentioned China yet. I haven't even gotten to China because of the mayor's wife. There's no way this man can stay in office. You have somebody in office that sympathizes with terrorists, that sympathizes with Palestinians, and makes no bones about it. 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
It's Dominic Carter.
77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. You know, your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
You know, folks, I almost don't know what to say. We are in uncharted territory as a nation, as a city, as it relates to New York City. We have a man elected who, based on his father, based on his wife, may be openly anti-Semitic and doesn't hide it. We're in a situation where, and I'm trying to choose my words carefully here, we're in a situation, the city of New York has seen some great first ladies, right? There was Joyce Dinkins, Mayor Dinkins' wife, very, very shy woman. Most of the wives that I've encountered nationally or locally, the wives nationally, they're more ambitious politically than it seems like the wives locally for mayor. The ones locally seem like they're going with the program to back their husbands up. Joyce Dinkins was a lovely woman, very, very, very shy, private woman. And the way that Mayor Dinkins dealt with her in public was the same way he dealt with her in private. It was nice to see. She passed away, and then I think he passed away less than a year later, as they often say with couples, married couples, they're in love. We had the great First Lady of New York, Donna Hanover, who had been a very prominent television newscaster. And that marriage didn't make it to Mayor Giuliani. We had de Blasio's wife, right? There was a revelation that she had bisexual relationships. They put it out there first. My encounter with her was that she was a nice person to me. That's all I can tell you, folks. I know all the stories that are out there. There was Bloomberg's girlfriend, Diana Taylor, I believe her name, nice woman. Eric Adams, his girlfriend, nice woman. Tracy, I believe was her name. And now we have a First Lady of New York City that is anti-Semitic, clearly anti-Semitic, from her music to her social media, and she has not apologized for it. She's apologized for making mistakes with social media, but not for the Israel stuff. And now you have this new story about her music. I'm going to get to President Trump and China and just in the back half when we come back, the second half of the show. But we see all of your telephone calls. Let's see here. Let's go to Steve, line 5 in Newark, New Jersey. Steve, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, I said I disagree with the how you talk about it every night. You know what I disagree with? I disagree with these idiots that call you and try to undermine you because you are so right. These people are sick. That mayor and his wife, the bile that comes out of their mouths every day, and the people that on this show should realize how true and how right you are. Dominic, keep up the good work. And let's not forget that little girl that was shot the other night. I don't know, it was in Bronx or Harlem, but these hoodlums, we got to get them off the street, put them in jail where they belong. Let Bubba get them.
That's where they belong. Let's go to Debbie in Cranford, New Jersey. Debbie, what's on your mind?
That Mayor, I call him Mondummy because I liked when Bodila said that. And then both of them, he and his wife, should be put in Belleville Mental Hospital because I think Islam made them go insane.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that comment, Debbie. I don't know if they're insane. The guy is actually very smart, but we're coming back, folks.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Last day in China for President Trump and the delegation of business leaders. Then it's headed back to America. While in China, he sat down with Sean Hannity on the Fox News Network. Here's a bit of what the president had to say.
What does he want from the U.S.?
A lot of things. We talked about a lot of things. Too many things to discuss, but a lot of things. We had a very good meeting, but we want things from them. One thing he agreed to today is going to order 200 jets. That's a big thing. Boeing. 200 big ones. That's a lot of jobs. It's a lot. Boeing wanted 150. He got 200. He said, I think it was a commitment. I mean, sort of like a statement, but I think it was a commitment.
And Secretary of State Marco Rubio declaring that China offered to not get in the way of Iran, offering assistance in terms of the war.
What exactly did President Trump ask President Xi for when it comes to Iran?
He didn't ask him for anything. I mean, we're not asking for China's help. We don't need their help.
But he raises the issue.
We raise the issue to make clear what our position is and to make it clear so they understand. Because, I mean, it's logical we would talk about it given how dominant that issue is. Our position is very clear. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And that's what they were, they were on the verge of building a conventional capability where they had so many rockets, so many drones, that you couldn't do anything against them. They would hide behind that conventional shield to do whatever they wanted with their nuclear program in the future. That's why the president chose to act. In response to that, Iran has decided that they're going to take an international waterway and turn it into theirs and charge tolls for it. We're not going to allow that to happen, and that's why there's a blockade. It's a direct result of what they've done.
And apparently with the Secret Service and the Chinese officials, there was some sort of a scuffle, according to Fox News.
Been some heated and physical clashes between the Secret Service and the Chinese police on basically at the back doors of these events, including one very physical standoff where a Secret Service officer was being prevented from taking his weapon in as part of the protective detail. But things have all been ironed out, and as far as we know, the schedule has not been changed because of that. Martha.
Yeah, well, it's a tense meeting. I think that is that's pretty clear. Peter, thank you very much.
So it appears everything's worked out. Let's go to Mary, line 2 in New Jersey. Mary, good morning. What's on your mind?
Hello. I just witnessed the most charming moment between Xi and Trump. They were walking in the garden, and, they had those serious looks on their faces through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But Trump became Trump when he saw the trees, and they were so old, and he became fascinated with the details, and he was asking questions, and Xi had the most delighted smile on his face. I never saw an expression like that on his face before. They just let down the masks or whatever for a moment.
Yes.
And
so, Mary, I'm just curious, from an outsider's view, how do you think the trip has gone thus far?
Well, I think that that Trump is achieving some small wins that will eventually become big wins. He'll pick up something else. I watch his face, and he looks very serious, more serious than I usually see him look. I don't mean serious, but worried maybe is the word I'm looking for.
I hear you. I hear you, Mary, and thank you for the great call, and have a wonderful weekend. Let's see here. Let's go to Robert in Philadelphia, line 4. Robert, what's on your mind? Good morning.
Hi, Dominic. As always, it's great to talk to you, man. I just wanted to talk about free speech and violence and the left's utter hypocrisy on both of them. If somebody tried to pray in front of an abortion clinic inside the so-called buffer zone, they would be arrested, would they not?
Immediately.
Okay.
And folks have gone to jail for that.
And you can riot in front of houses of worship, especially if you don't like the denomination. And it just highlights the whole thing, Dom, with the left and their minions in the media. Right-wing free speech always equals violence, but left-wing violence always equals free speech. And that hypocrisy is what I hope will drive people to see them for the evil they are and vote when the midterms come around. You know what I mean?
You know, that was pretty good. That bears repeating. Say that part again for me, Robert.
To the left and their minions in the media, right-wing free speech always equals violence, but left-wing violence is their idea of free speech.
So, in your opinion, from a view afar, you're in Philadelphia. What do you make of the mayor's wife of New York City? I don't, I have tried my best, believe it or not, Robert, to pull punches in terms of reporting on her, because the way I came up in the game of political reporting, the wives were always off limits unless they did something really stupid, really outrageous. Or
they made themselves a public figure, and she does that with her social media and her. I would like to think that if New York had known about her before the election,
there's no way he would have won. That's why it's wicked what he did. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, not at all. But are we sure that would have been the case? That's my fear, that even if this had been known, he still would have won with the voters that you're dealing with up in New York, Dominic.
No, I don't think he. There's no way. The woman is outright anti-Semitic and doesn't hide it.
And a city that has the biggest Jewish population outside of Israel, and that just blows me away. But Dominic, it has to fail because they're doing what socialists do. They're driving the vitality of the economy out, and they're going to be left with East St. Louis if they keep this up. I feel your frustration, man. I wish there was more I could do.
There's no doubt about it. East St. Louis, here we come. You know what's crazy about this, Robert? Before I move on to the next call, as we speak right now, there are about 10 uniformed officers of the NYPD around Gracie Mansion, including some in cars, some in the posts right outside the mansion, protecting this man and his wife as they sleep. If he happens to wake up right now and decides he wants to go to a store somewhere, let's say to buy a pack of gum or whatever, if he wanted to go to get some air, or if the first lady wanted to go out and get some air, their protective detail would have to go with them in taxpayer-given vehicles, several officers to protect them, the mayor and the first lady. And look at what they're each doing as it relates to the Jewish community. And then it makes me wonder, I'm going to be straight with you, Robert, if Mamdani hid his wife from us during the campaign, what else is he hiding from us? That's what makes me wonder.
I can't imagine it's anything good, because I firmly believe that his feelings as far as Israel and the Jewish community are more in line with his wife than he would admit. But Dominic, it's endemic of the left. They're always about protecting themselves and give chaos to the rest of us. And that's got to end at some point. One can only hope,
that's
my
a
man.
good point there. Hey, Robert, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's see here. Let's go to Benny, line 3 in Harlem. Benny, good morning. What's on your mind?
Hello, Dominic. How are you, sir?
I'm good. What's going on?
Excellent. First of all, I think you should call Syracuse and have them teach your book and your wife's book up there as Human Compassion. And that should be a certificate with a golden seal on it, that type of thing. Next.
Well, thank you.
You see the gate thing in the library? Okay?
Yes.
The last poets from Harlem wrote a little poem about it, right? And it goes a little something like this. It says, when it comes time for the end, and when it comes time for the end, the men shall look like the women, and women like the men, and they will dance in hypnotic trance as if they have no care.
Okay, well, okay, no. Hey, Benny, I'm not big on people citing poems or trying to rap. What's the point you're trying to make?
Sir, no, I'm not trying to rap. No, sir.
No, but you were reciting a poem, and I don't know the poem. I get nervous. Because I can't.
Sir, I would never curse.
No, I didn't say you were going to curse. You were quoting a poem that I don't know. Benny, what's the point you're trying to make?
For that. Okay.
Excuse me?
Well, it was by the last poets. Huh?
Okay, but Benny, it's you and I talking. What's the point you're trying to make?
I'm trying to make, Dominic, is that for some strange reason, these people have come out to woodwork beyond natural control. For some reason, they come out the woodwork beyond natural control. And I don't think it's how you say it. It's ungodly. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Well, Benny, thank you. Thank you for the call. In a moment, I'm going to go to Mike and Comac, but I want to focus on Greg Gutfeld on Fox, right? What President Trump has done in terms of trying to fight drugs. And it's something that he doesn't get enough credit as far as I'm concerned. And as Gutfeld makes this point, President Trump has saved thousands of lives.
Trump's done a lot of things. And one of the things we have to revisit is think about, 4 or 5 years ago, fentanyl overdoses were racking up 70 to 100,000 deaths a year. These are people who aren't just junkies and you go, well, they're seeking their own death. These are one and doners, people that get a Valium or get something, but it's off the street and they die. Biden didn't lift a finger. He didn't do a thing. So here's a little fentanyl history for you. Trump declared the opioid crisis in 2017. He had a agreement with China in 2019 to halt fentanyl exporting, and it kind of worked. But then the supply shifted to the cartels. So he expanded the border wall, remained in Mexico, did all the things that the Democrats hate, and then over time, fentanyl decreased. And then Trump gets reelected. He really kicks it in, explicitly ties tariffs to trafficking, and then fentanyl trafficking. Then he designates the drug as a WMD and cartels as terrorists. We're going out, we're bombing the crap out of them. 60% of fentanyl trafficking drops in the southern border. Lives, thousands of lives are being saved by Trump because of this. And I bring this up because the late Scott Adams would be very pleased and very proud because he lost his stepson to a fentanyl overdose. And when he died, he said he would make it his mission to get Trump elected, get Trump to understand this threat, get him to China, and get him to focus on the precursors, and also to kill the dealers. None of this would have happened under Ding Dong Kamala. He has literally saved thousands of lives. And again, I'm not talking about just the drug addicts that you see on the streets. I'm talking about people's sons and daughters who went to a frat party. Yeah.
And that is a point to consider. You know, it's not just all outright drug abuse. It's first-time users not realizing what's in it. And then next thing you know, your child is dead. Let's go to line one, and we're taking your calls at 800-848-9222. Line one, it says here, Mike and Comac. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Dom. Nice to speak with you again. I want to tell you a quick story. I just recently had it with a transgender person. I was at a medical facility for a sonogram. So the person behind the desk says, "May I help you?" I said, "Yes, sir, I'm here." As soon as I said, "Sir," this person got up, bigger than me, mind you, wearing a dress, batted in his eyes, and stormed off. People behind me in the waiting room were laughing. I felt embarrassed. Not going to have it, Dom. I told the girl by the counter. She's like, "I'll check you in, sir." I said, "Absolutely not. That person just stormed off. Get that person back here." And he came back. He said, "Is there a problem?" I said, "Yes, there is a problem. You just embarrassed me. I'm inadvertently called you sir. It wasn't purposely. I didn't see you wearing a dress. Let's start all over. How should I refer to you?" He tells me, "My name is Brenda." "No problem, Brenda. I'm Mike. Check me in now." But I was so embarrassed, Dom. I was so annoyed.
Wow. Well,
that's my transgender story for the night.
I hear you. I don't know what to do about this. It's almost as bad as my story, and I learned a very hard lesson. And I've told this story before. I was addressing a woman, and I was trying to be nice, and I said, "Wow, how many months are you?" And her face just turned cold on me, and she said, "Sir, I'm not pregnant." And I wanted to crawl under the table. But so you called him sir, but Brenda had on a dress, and he said, you know what, Mike, I'm trying to be nice. I'm really trying to be nice. I'm not good at being a phony. I'm not good at doing it. Folks, we're going into nutty lane. Dude is bigger than Mike with a dress on and says, call him Brenda. I don't think so. thank you for the call, Mike. I don't do good at pulling my tongue. I just don't do good at it, folks. Time for a break. We're coming right back.
It's Dominic Carter. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
So the big trip for President Trump to China is almost over. A bit later on today, final meetings, and then it's back to the U.S. I'm still thinking about when the president arrived, the Air Force One, the red carpet, the school children, and the band, and the song that they selected to be played by the live band, something near and dear to the president's heart, YMCA. And that was nice by the band and the school children. Let's go back to your live telephone calls. Line 1, Lance in New Jersey. Good morning, Lance. What's on your mind?
I just have to thank you for you're so courageous and you're so diehard. It's like a combination tonight of you being Don Quixote and listening to the song, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and watch out for Mr. In Between. And that's the kind of mayor and family you got in that city. And again, with the acronyms, the LGBTQAN, what is that? Let's grab balls today quickly, all together and individually. I have no idea sometimes. You clarify the insanity. And I thank you so very much for it.
Well, Lance, I only know one way, to be honest with you. As I said the other night, that's a fastball down the middle. I'm not throwing a curve. I'm not throwing a changeup. I'm not throwing a slider. Fastball right down the middle. Either you hit it or you don't. If you hit it, then I lose. If you don't, then I win. And that's been my philosophy all my career, to just tell it and call it the way I see it. But I don't know. We've just entered days where reporters, they don't want to be called out. They don't want to be criticized, and they want to be liked. They want the person that they're covering to like them. I could care less. I never could, whether or not the person that I covered liked me. I had a rule, a firm rule, and that rule is as simple as this. The person that I'm assigned to cover, treat them the way I would like to be treated. No more, no less. And that's just, and with Mamdani, I mean, this man needs to be called out for his racist wife. I mean, if a playlist doesn't give us a snapshot into your personality, a music playlist, then I don't know what does. Does the First Lady's music playlist, apparently her playlist, according to published reports, which is anti-Semitic, does that say something to you about her personality, Lance?
Absolutely, but it also puts him as the person that's glorified in the sunlight, and she's in the background. But yet she's pulling strings and making him. And this last recent video where he runs up to the camera and like he's trying to be like Biden and whisper, "I taxed the rich today." What is that? Come on, he's a hustler. That's all.
Outside Ken Griffin's home, a billionaire, where by doing that you put his life at danger immediately. And you didn't think about that, Mr. Mayor. You had police officers chauffeur you over there. Say that again, please, Lance.
He doesn't think about people. He thinks about his purpose and the what he's trying to do. It's a slow process of bloodletting. He's letting all the positive energy out. That's all it
Right.
is.
Well, Lance, thank you for the great call. So, Mr. Mayor, if you're not asleep yet, reach over and tap the First Lady and say, honey, what's this about your playlist? Anti-Semitic playlist? Honey, please tell me it's not so. Please tell me it's not so. Or, Mom Donnie, did you personally approve of her playlist? Is it your playlist for your music? Man, you are something else. But boy, did you con the people of New York City. I am back live at 3 p.m. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?